Find the first 5 terms of sequence that has given general term an is cosine of n times pi over 2. So we know that in mathematics you use term sequence to describe a function whose domain consists of positive integers. In our example, we have function f of n will be given thus by this expression, so cosine of n times pi over 2, where n is any positive integer. So n is 1, 2, 3, and so on. In our example, we need to find the first 5 terms, so we need to substitute n by first 5 numbers will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what else? In my opinion, when you have trigonometric function, it's good to draw the graph of this function, and it will be very easy to find the value for our function. So we have cosine function. Let me draw xy plane. We know that cosine is between -1 and 1 and repeats every 2 pi. So let's put that here is pi over 2, pi 3 over 2 pi, 2 pi, and will be 5 over 2 pi, and so on. So for 0, value of cosine is 1. For pi over 2, the value of cosine is 0. For pi, the value is -1, so approximately here. For 3 over 2, again 0. For 2 pi, the value is 1, so it'll be approximately here. And for pi over 2 is 0 again. And when we have negative value, for negative pi over 2, the value of cosine is 0. Cosine is symmetrical about y-axis. So now let me connect these points. Our cosine function is something like this. We have to pass these points. Something like this. And now I think it will be very easy when we will have to find value of cosine in our sequence. So, like I said, we need to substitute n by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So first, let me write that n is equal 1. We have to substitute in our expression n by 1. So will be a1 is equal cosine of 1 times pi, we can put in parentheses, over 2. So this is equal cosine of 1 times pi is pi over 2. So cosine of pi over 2, we can go to our function cosine, which we draw, and we see that for pi over 2, the value is 0 for our cosine. So this is equal 0. Now we will substitute n by 2, and we will have a2 is cosine, and we substitute by 2, so it will be 2 times pi over 2. So this is equal, we have multiplication, so we can reduce 2 and 2. So we have cosine of pi. Cosine of pi is -1. Now, for n equals 3, we will have 3 is equal cosine of, we substitute n by 3, so we have 3 times pi over 2. So what it will be, cosine of 3 over 2 pi is 0. So this is 0. And for n equals 4, we will have 4 is equal cosine, now we substitute n by 4, pi over 2. We can reduce 4 with 2 because we have multiplication here, so we have cosine of 2 pi. Cosine of 2 pi, for 2 pi we have value for our cosine 1. And for n equals 5, what will be? A5 is cosine of 5 times pi over 2. And cosine of 5 over 2 pi is 0. The value is 0. So we got the first 5 terms: 0, -1, 0, 1, and 0. So we can write the answer. The first 5 terms are 0, -1, 0, 1, and we have 0. This is my solution.